everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I have great pleasure in bringing you RJ Hampson's brand new colouring book, Lost in Time, featuring the wonderful Mr Fogherty. So RJ sent this book to me. I put it on my wish list waiting for payday, and the next thing I knew it was through the door and he'd sent it to me. So that of course is glued in, and then a little border of washi tape to keep that safe. So our well-loved character Mr Fogherty is back. This time what I've noticed is that RJ has included a little storyline that goes along with it, which is just wonderful. And I have had a sneak peek, I have to say, because I was waiting for Thursday to do this little flip through and do a colouring with you. So I had to peek, so I apologise. But it is wonderful. So we come in straight away to Mr Fogherty relaxing in his armchair on This Belongs To page. And I have to say, I think RJ, the Belongs To pages are just as beautiful as any of the other pages. So it's very exciting when you turn the front cover over and have a look. So here we go. Let me center you up, and I'll try not to get too excited and keep it in the mat. If I remember to stay within the mat, it should be okay. So the usual, using this book, RJ tells you how, when to do it and how to do it. And then here we've got the little bit of blurb that says, this is the third Mr Fogherty and Snail adventure, and I must admit I have fallen head over heels in love with Snail. And our clever, eccentric amphibian has created its own time machine. But while visiting the past as a noble ambition, there are unintended consequences which threaten the very fabric of the space-time continuum. So we've got a lovely little story that goes along with these images. So here we have my ideal view. Look at that. Mr Fogherty chilling, and it says, Mr Fogherty has a revolutionary dream about the arc of time. Mr Fogherty is becoming quite a dangerous character. You'll see. And we've got inspiration. Mr Fogherty designs and begins construction of his time machine prototype. Look at Snail. And this is exactly why I'm beginning to fall in love with him, because he's such a character down here. And it just, yeah, he makes me chuckle just looking at it. Well, you wait, it gets better. Look at him. I don't know what it is about that. Look at him with his little pillow. So this says, Mr Fogherty explains his invention to a group of sceptical friends. Yeah, you would be, wouldn't you? Look at his expression. And they've got wine and nibbles, look. Oh dear. So test drive. Mr Fogherty takes the time machine for its first journey. Look at the intricacy of that. Isn't that beautiful? And his determined expression there, look. It's lovely. And here we go. This one's called Too Far. Mr Fogherty discovers himself in a Jurassic epoch and decides to leave. I can't think why. Oh look, aren't they adorable, the dinosaurs? They're so cute. But yeah, I'd be leaving too, I think. I love his little beret. Okay, thanks a lot all. Mr Fogherty inadvertently changes the future by introducing fire to primitive axolotls. Look at the what were they? Was it Aboriginal drawings in the cave, or cave drawings? Usually like a red sort of colour, weren't they? Because they would have used natural pigments and things. But yeah, look. Look at them. Look at his pants. Oh my goodness. And I love this one. Look at this. And that tree. So this is a secret recipe. And Mr Fogherty visited a Celtic druid and learns how to make a potent potion. Look at his trousers. I like his trousers. It's beautiful. It's so beautifully illustrated, isn't it? It just makes you want to dive straight in. Now this one really got me. So this is the Roman Senate. Mr Fogherty drops his matches and Nero has an idea. Now if you don't know the story behind it, when Rome burnt down, Nero quickly rebuilt it, is my understanding of it anyway. And then there was the conspiracy that he may have deliberately burnt it down. So maybe Mr Fogherty caused that, see? Look at these two. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. Actually makes me cry, I have tears. Okay, Merry Monks. Mr Fogherty enjoys a refreshing ale and look at the snail. I'm sorry, look at him. He's a little tipsy on his beer, look. I love that. It's so gorgeous. And look at his rotund tummy. Oh, it's so beautiful. And then archetype. Mr Fogerty's sudden arrival inspires Michelangelo. So it's not David anymore. It's Mr Fogherty. And the details. Look at the wine and the grapes. And we've Snail's even getting his portrait done over here. Look. So cool. One Frog Hamlet. Mr Fogherty performs at the Globe Theatre, astonishing William Shakespeare with his dramatic range. I love this picture. Look at it, look at it, it's gorgeous. The audience down here, look. So beautiful. Just the colours that once you start looking, you know, a ball, they're all going to a ball here. Before the ball, Mr Fogherty meets the Sun King, Louis the IV, and dances the night away. So this is the Sun King, obviously. Look at that. I like his pantaloons. There we go, a quick dip. Look at him. Look, he's buff. Mr Fogherty's actually quite buff. She's swooning and about to pass out. Mr Fogherty takes a moment to refresh himself in an inviting pool after a long journey. Oh, I love it. Sorry. Oh, but if a colouring book can do this to you, I think it's just incredible. You know, there's so much going on in the world and in our lives that just to be able to sit down and flip pages that actually bring tears to your eyes because you're laughing, I just think is incredible. And this one, look at Snail here. This one's called Remember Me. Mr Fogherty experiences his first tragic love affair, but the princess does have a parting gift. Oh, love her. She's very sad. What have you done to her, Mr Fogherty? Naughty man. Where's your tadpoles? We want tadpoles. And then we've got the space-time continuum. Uh-oh. So Mr Fogherty returns home and meets himself breaking the space-time continuum. Now everybody knows, Mr Fogherty, in time travel you are not supposed to let yourself see yourself because it shatters everything, which it's doing, look. With dramatic effect. And look at the snails. He's got a bow tie, that one. Okay, a fracturing time and space. Mr Fogherty and Snail are sucked into a time vortex. His use of matches throughout the journey has disastrous consequences and chaos ensues. So we've got Rome burns there. The Global Theatre in ashes. Oh no, Mr Fogherty, what have you done? And then all the little pieces that we've seen are all being sucked into this vortex. And then we get our lovely alien. Look at him. An unexpected encounter with the fourth dimension helps Snail and Mr Fogherty to continue their adventure. But what does the controller do? And what will happen to the time machine? So he's been given a controller. Look at Snail with his helmet. Okay, so he's now got this controller. And it says a distant future, so he's obviously travelled forward. Mr Fogherty wakes up in the distant future and must find a way home. It says Seattle 3500. So look at how it's changed. And we've got like these War of the Worlds machines in the background firing at the buildings. Not good. Not good, Mr Fogherty. Okay. Self-aware. So this is Niagara Falls in 2025. Am I reading that right? Yes. Okay. Mr Fogherty witnesses strange behaviour at Niagara Falls. It is strange if you think about it, isn't it? We go to these picturesque places that are, you know, just unimaginable beauty and wonder, and we stand there with a phone in front of us filming ourselves. So it is quite strange behaviour, and it's no wonder Mr Fogherty is thinking, you bunch of idiots, look. We all do it. Look, even the little mouse and the chick down here have got their phones out doing selfies. Okay. And then we've got Arcadia. So this is the 80s, look, 1984. Mr Fogherty dabbles in some 80s fashion while sampling some high-tech games and excellent music. Oh yeah, you can't argue with that, RJ. 80s music. And I look at his chinos and the little puffer jacket. There would have been a lot of neon going on, maybe. And the tape recorder. Oh yeah, I see. I was really cool and had the tape to tape one, so you could record stuff. And the roller skates. He's captured that really well. Look at that. Pac-Man at the top there. Space Raiders. Now this I love. I think this is gorgeous. Make Love Not War. This is called Flower Child. And this is 1969 Woodstock. Mr Fogherty stumbles upon a music festival and discovers a new style of dance. Groovy, baby. Look at it. Oh, I do like it. Oh dear. Dangerous Times, Chicago, 1929. Mr Fogherty becomes entangled with some bad company and decides it's time to leave. Look at Snail. Snail's got a cigar. It's Tommy can. Oh dear. Divine Proportion. Okay. Mr Fogherty is reunited with the time machine. Leonardo da Vinci helps to create a solution to the time-space conundrum. So just in case you don't know, Leonardo, didn't they find lots and lots of drawings and flying machines and things that he'd invented way ahead of time. But yeah, so together they're looking at the space conundrum. Here we go. The Virtual Man of the fourth dimension, order in the universe is restored. So this was supposed to be the depiction of, which is why it's funny, the proportions, the perfect proportions of a person. So that's why it's quite funny that it's Mr Fogherty in there. The Virtual Frog. Look, even the snail has been put in there, look. Okay. And then we've got one more before we reach the back. And we've got end of the road. Mr Fogherty returns home and safely locks up his time machine. Time for a change of pace. Yeah, look, he's got his little tuxedo on his cigar. He needs to quit that. That's naughty, Snail. And there he is home, and it's safely locked away, as it should be. And then we go into, absolutely love this. There he is. He's drunk, he's smoking, he's sleeping. He's like groovy baby, and then his like Shakespearean look. So the second set of pages are the same, but they have subtle differences. So I'm just going to quickly look through and see if you can see what the differences are. Which is why I like to get the paperback book, because I never want to miss RJ's subtle differences, because they are amazing. Look, if you look at this, and he changes the title of them as well. So if we go back to there, test drive, look at the difference. And sometimes, like I say, there's a subtle difference in the title too. Too far. Oh, he's got his match there, look. And then thanks a lot all. With the bats in thanks a lot all. Let me keep my finger in the pages that we're on. I do like to just look and see if I can see the differences. There we go. Yes, they were, but there's another one that's appeared just here, look. And of course you've got the black sky. And there'll be other differences in there, but I just haven't. And then the beautiful druid. Now in the first one I think it's Stonehenge, isn't it? In the background, yeah, and that gorgeous tree. Whereas this one has got the trees surrounding it. So there are quite a lot of differences. So this is why I like to get the book with both copies in, because I just love the changes. Even these little images are different, look. Here we've got a little ladybug. And here we've got a violin and a little fire. Oh, and he's being served a drink here by the ladybug, look. So just subtle differences, but I do like it. Here's my drunk snail page. Look. We've got a mouse that's passed out, look. Oh, sorry folks, I just enjoy it so much. My colouring, you know, collection of books is such a pleasure to me. And we've got wine and a little mouse bust, and down here is like a little is it like a I can't think of the name. So there are, you just have to look, but there'll be more differences in there that I haven't picked up. He's facing the opposite way, I know that much this time. Yeah, and there was a little bird in the background. This time we've got a little mouse and a mask. Oh, look. So before we had the Sun King, and here we've got Snail. Wow, so they are quite different. This is my hilarious page, look, the quick dip. There's a little fish gasping for air in there, because it's also impressed by how buff Mr Fogherty is. And he's not there now, but then where his clothes were before, Snail's now appeared. And there's a moon in the sky, look. I love it. I do love doing this. Her hat's different. It's like Spot the Difference. Oh, and there's one down here, look. and oh, that was there. Okay, and then the space-time conundrum. Oh, look, the mantle clock. It's been blown up. He's in a different position. Yeah, there's an axolotl up there. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of difference on that page. Not too much change, I don't think, on that one, but then we've got all the gorgeous black background. I could be wrong, but let me just flip through quickly. Oh, that one's very different. We've got a robot at the front here. He's different, I think. But Snail's now got headphones on down here, look. Listening to the music. Look at that. It stood on his back so he can play the game. VW camper van. So I'm just going to flip really quickly just so that we can get moving. His clothes are different, I think, aren't they, on that one? And then he's back home. Put those smoking devices down. Oh, look! Time for another round. Find new colouring pages by signing up to RJ Hampson's newsletter. Get free downloadable pages, monthly colouring sheets and updates on new books at rjhampson.com/colouring. Look at Mr Fogherty playing golf, isn't that lovely? And Snail's got a VW badge that came off a car when in it must have been the 80s or early 90s when the I think it was the Beastie Boys, was it the Beastie Boys or Run DMC, one of the two, in one of the videos he had a Volkswagen sign around his neck, and honestly there was anybody that owned a Volkswagen were driving around with no badge on the front because people were stealing them. So I've brought back memories. And sadly, we're at the end. I do love flipping through books. Okay, so what I thought we'd do is, because I just absolutely fell in love with him and he made me raw, is the snail page here, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to go off and get some planning done, and then I'll be back and we're going to do a colour with me in this wonderful book. So I'll see you in a second. Right, I've decided on a quick dip because Mr Fogherty's buffness made me laugh, so we're going to go with that. I'm going to base with the pastel set of Hoo markers, and then we're going to bring in some pencils. I'm not sure what pencils I'm going to use yet. You'll know before me. So we're going to go in. So I'm going to move these cards because then I can put the words on the screen over here so they don't get in your way. And I'm going to use Celadon Green G050 to colour Mr Fogherty, and it's very bright. So let's see. Right, I've got a scrap piece of paper, and this is just a thick piece of acetate behind to stop it ruining my book. And we're going to go in. So I'm going to base all of Mr Fogherty in this green. And then we can crack out some pencils. Didn't really want to go over the water droplets, but there we are. Don't forget his eyelids. So if we keep those edges moving, we don't get those lines. Don't let them dry out, and then you don't get those streaky lines. But it doesn't matter so much anyway if you're going to go over with pencil. But don't forget his little hands. So it does dry lighter than this. Gosh, I hope it does anyway. I've just tested it on a piece of printing paper because your swatches can look different. You know, a who send out the beautiful cardstock to do your swatches on, but they can often look different colours on different papers, and I think that's dependent on the absorbency of the paper. So gosh, I hope he dries lighter than that, because he is very bright. Otherwise we might be turning to the back page to do it. Okay, so let's pray Mr Fogherty lightens up a bit. And then I've got, for the building behind, I'm going to do that as simple as possible. And I've got red grey, RG030. And I'm going in with the little bullet tip here. And I'm just going to colour this building. And then we'll do the sky. Small achievements, folks, small achievements. So I'm not going to make you watch while I colour the entirety of this building in red grey, because that would be a bit boring. So I'm going to colour all of the building in that, and with the exception of the windows, obviously. Okay, for the sky, I've got sky blue. I've got sky blue. I've got blue grey BG3, and I've got mint blue BG4. So I just have to hope that this works. I might move you over this way and have the words here. So I'm going to come in under the clouds with BG3, the blue-grey, and I'm going to put some of this beautiful blue-grey underneath these clouds. I don't know if that mint blue is going to be too bright. I might select something else actually. So we're going to put some little shadows underneath these clouds. With the blue-grey. Come on, Mr Fogherty, please lighten up. Pencils will sort it out, but I didn't expect him to go that colour. And I do have, like I say, I have swatches. That's, well, I suppose it has. Yeah, it's going to be bright, folks. It's going to be bright. Okay. So, what have I got? Let's try a B220 pale greyish blue. B220. Let me just find it. Bear with me. Is that it? No, of course it's not. There it is. I got it. I got it. Alright, let's try that. It's much brighter, but I think it'll work well, the two together. We can have this lovely bright blue sky. Now I'm going to go back over those and I'll bring that down here under the shadow actually. This can be our shadow instead, because I've changed my mind in colours. So we'll pull that under the clouds and we'll come round the top here and we'll just make the edge of the picture darker, like this. Okay, so if we go back in then with that BG3 now and blend those two together, because that BG3 is a much softer blue. I'm not bothered about if my pen leaks over the clouds because we can Poscarize them or Tule art them to within an inch of their lives. Just trying to find a spot at which it would be safe to stop so I don't get any lines. Gosh, Mr Fogherty is very bright. But pencils will go over it, so, and it would be nice to have that bright undertone. So bear with me here. Alright, let me get this. I'm sorry to make you watch me colour all of this, but then we'll come back and we'll redo the darker spots. That makes more sense to me. Okay. I think this is the biggest space we've got on the page, that where we can't stop, we have to keep going. So this is just basing, don't forget, and then we will come back in with pencils. Okay, so taking the darker blue now, let's come back in. And then we'll do some darker bits around here too. Under this cloud. Like this. Nearly there, folks. Okay, and up this edge as well. I think those two colours work really pretty together. Okay, we're going to go back in with our light one and then just going to blend that edge out. Just come in underneath those cloud bits. And then when it dries, we should have those two colours blended, and then we can use pencil as well, if we need to. That colour that you can see coming through is just where the page has gone transparent because it's soaking wet and it's picking up the colour behind from the piece of paper that I've got there. Alright, let's let that dry. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and I'm going to go off and carry on with my building doing the red grey. and then I'll be back when the paper's dry, because it's saturated right now. It's so saturated it's see-through, and then we'll carry on. So I'll see you in a second. Right, I'll just wait for the camera to stop wobbling. Okay, so I thought I'd be clever and introduce a darker blue round the top, which was B25 light, B250 light blue, and the whole thing's just gone really dark. So I am going to take my Prismas, because I know them well, and this page is now panicking me, and I don't want to ditch it because it's my brand new book and I love it. So I'm going to go in with powder blue, and I'm going to fix this. So because it's alcohol marker, it doesn't necessarily, if you haven't scrubbed it that is, it doesn't damage the tooth of the paper. And this is what I love about alcohol marker work, is most of the time you can fix this up. So I'm going to come in with this powder blue, and we're going to smooth this all out and lighten it back up again. These things happen, folks. You think, oh yeah, that would look nice, and they do look nice, but what's happening is, for some reason, my alcohol markers are coming out an awful lot darker than my swatches. Yeah. Or I've just looked at the wrong pen, probably. Excuse my thumb, I am just going round and round with this powder blue. I'm just pulling that light back out. Like that. So I get the colour, more the colour that I intended, not what happened. Yeah, I don't know why they're coming out so different. Different papers, I suppose. I should test it on the back page, shouldn't I? Okay, so we've got a little bit of the powder blue. That's fixing that up. I'm going to come in with Caribbean Sea now, which is a brighter blue, and will lift hopefully these darker patches. Like that. Grab the powder blue again and just blend that through. And we'll get there. Just takes a little bit of fandangling. But at least we've got a good lesson in how to fix your alcohol. Obviously, if it was black, well, you can go over black. But, well, you can. But we've got a good lesson in how to fix up a fluffed up alcohol marker session. And then next I will turn my attention to the very buff Mr Fogherty and try and fix him up. Okay, so I've got those. I'm going to get some, she says, I'm going to get some white. Here we go. Make sure it's clean. And I'm going to put some white in too. And then I'll come back over with powder blue. Excuse my thumb. I will, when I get, when I fix this up, I'll go back to not having the thumb out. I wanted much lighter, and I should have just stuck with the colours that I had because it was working, but no. You know, they have those days where you just think, oh, that looked good, and it would have been that light blue down there, but no. Lucy knows better, apparently. But I promise you it will get there. So I'm not going to torture you. I'm going to keep blending with my, if you use the two colours that I started with initially, it will be fine. I'm not going to torture you and make you watch while I fix up this sky. Hey, yay, yay, Lucy. So I'll go and fix the sky and then I'll come back and show you when it's done. I've put a bit of powder blue in here to make it match. But yeah, it can be done. It's just time consuming and very annoying. Okay, already I'm happier with it and we're getting there. So I'll keep going and I'll be back when I've fixed it. I just wanted to be completely honest with you, and that's what had happened. If you like that darker blue, it's B250, light blue. Alright, I'll see you in a sec. Right, back on track. I think I've managed to rescue it. Between the Caribbean sky, the powder blue and the white, I think it will be fine when we get the other details in. And we will visit those clouds and do something with those. So the next thing I need to the next thing we need to start is, and I am using the Prismas because I know them well, and because this the sky went wrong. Mr Fogherty is very bright. Yeah, I thought I'd stick with the good old Prismas. So my beautiful friend Chris replaced my Dahl for me because I'd had that one for 5 years, and I'd taken it apart and put it back together, and you know, and it just gave up the ghost on me. So isn't that kind? So if you're wondering what a good sharpener is for your Prismas, a Dahl 133 there. Absolutely incredible. Alright, so I've got Prussian green, I've got a little bit of artichoke, I've got lime peel, which is a really good match for that, I've got spring green, and I've got apple green. So we're going to go in and have a try at giving Mr Fogherty a makeover. So Prussian green is going to be our darkest colour. So let's follow RJ and put in some Prussian green to bring out these dark areas. So I'm doing it very lightly. I don't know what is wrong with me today. I think I actually looked at my colour swatch chart and picked the wrong colour up. That happens with me and alcohol markers because I do have dyslexic tendencies. And oh my gosh, they're a pain in the bum. I read numbers and read things round the wrong way and things like that. So it's very frustrating. And then on top of that, brain fog, you know, all these ailments, just wonderful, wonderful. So I'm just getting the darker areas in with this Prussian green where I want them. And I don't use bright colours very often, you know, like really bright colours very often, and I think that's to do with confidence, but they, you know, it's quite scary for me. Look at his face. He knows that these girls are shocked by him. Okay, I definitely want to keep his like muscular area there. Yeah, he's got this group of girls swooning over him. He knows what he's doing. What a player. Mr Fogherty. Okay. I'm going to come round his little markings. with a little bit of this Prussian too. Around that googly eye. There we are. Alright, we'll do his hands in a minute. Alright, so the next colour I've got is the I think we're going with a little bit of lime peel now, and blend out this Prussian green, and it's a really close match to that bright green that I've got underneath. So this is just going to help us pull it out into Mr Fogherty. It's a bit darker, or probably a little bit more, yeah, I don't know. It's a good match either way. So this will just help us smooth him out where I've put this Prussian green in. So sorry about the first part of the video. That's me panicking. But if you want to just do it in pencils, just Caribbean Sky and the powder blue, and you could even bring in like Sky Blue Light or one of the other really light ones. And I was going to get out my chroma flows to do this, but like I say, because I know my Prismas so well, I know that colours that will work to correct my panicking over ruining Mr Fogherty. Okay. Alright, let's come in now with a little bit of the apple green. Is this apple green? Yes. And we'll pull that out, which is nice and bright. Sticking with these yellow greens. And this will help to make the bright green that we'd got on Mr Fogherty, well, it's already toned it down. So he's already looking a million times better. Or at least he will when we've smoothed him all out. Okay. Alright, so and then I've got spring green, which is very bright. So again, I'm just going to go over where I've already coloured and bring this out a little bit more, just in some areas. Like that. Okay, and a little bit more of the artichoke. And that'll help us softly bridge that gap into that alcohol marker. If you've used the alcohol markers, that is. Okay. A little bit there. And I'm going to go back to the Prussian and just redarken those areas up that get knocked back when you're blending. This is going to be a long video, so I might have to split this into 2 parts. So if you're following me doing the Tiny Illustrations practice book by Raider Prince on Mondays, on Mini Mondays, I'm going to go through different pencils, so that'll be nice. And maybe we can get out the Chroma Flows on Monday. Okay. Yes, I like him. He looks really bright on camera. He's much more toned down now. So I'm going to take the artichoke and I'm just going to come round his little markings. Just give them a little bit of shadow so they sort of pop off. And we can put some of that in some of the darker areas too. It's just a bit more of a browny tone. There we go. Could you feel my panic at the beginning if you're still with me? There we go. Alright, I'm just going to blend that artichoke there with some lime peel. Alright, I'm much happier now. Yeah, so I might have to, oh, I don't know, I've got some beautiful gifts that I've been sent. And I know people are waiting for me to colour in them. But I might have to split this up into 2 parts. We'll see how well it does. Alright, let's do his hands. Okay, so let's come in with our Prussian. And make the inside of his little fingers. Like this. Around his collar, cuff. Like that. This book would also be really good for Mini Mondays because there's lots on lots of different details in here. Okay, so then next we're going to go in with our lime peel. Blend out that Prussian a bit. And apple. That really helps to brighten him back up again. And then the spring green. He's looking very handsome. Bit of spring green like that there. And then a little tiny bit of the artichoke, so we get that nice orangey, yellowy brown tone. Just poking through. What do you think? Do you think we've rescued him, or I've rescued him? I think so. I think he's looking very handsome. I'm much happier with him than when I first did him. And sometimes these are happy mistakes, because I probably would never have done him as bright as this, and I actually really like him. A bit more shadow around his shirt. There we go. Alright, maybe we should leave those colours out and do our lovely ladies the same as well then. Perhaps we should do that. Take the leap of faith, Lucy, and do it. What was that bright green? It was supposed to be celadon green. Doesn't look like the... Where's the celadon in the Prisma set? I know everything's different, but... I'm just trying to find it. Is that it? Yes. Celadon green in the Prisma set. A little bit different. Okay, so I am going to be brave and I'm going to do our ladies too. There we go. Look at her. It's almost like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Okay, so I've bitten the bullet and we've got Kermit green on our lovely froggies. And why not, indeed? Alright, so maybe the page won't be a write-off after all. So when that's dry I can come in and we can do our ladies in the same colour as Mr Fogherty. I am going to put some more artichoke in, I think, because I think that looks really cool with those greens. I really like that little bit of yellowy brown in there. Yellowy brown green, khaki kind of colour. Like that. Alright, so I'd picked a very light green, which is a safe green, folks, to do the grass, and I've got GY172 and it is, I don't know, I can't read it on there, it's too small. GY172, oh, Spectrum Green, and it's this one. So I need it to be a very different green to Mr Fogherty. So I am going in and I am going to be brave. We're going to get it done. Oh, I didn't think to test it on the back, did I? Maybe I'll just do this little bit down the bottom here and see how it dries. And then if it doesn't dry light like I wanted it to, well, this is a very light colour. Where is it? There. So, do you know what? I'm just going to be brave and do it. So, folks, I am going to colour the entire grass, not the bushes, just the entire grass in Spectrum Green, and then we will meet back up, and then by then our ladies should be dry and we can put some colour on them. And I'd like to think we could at least get the pond done as well. So I will see you in a minute. Okay, grass is done. I've got jade green 320 for the pond water, which is a beautiful soft green, so don't panic. And it was just under colouring, so it will just give us a base for our pencils, that's all. Because I don't want the water to just be blue, because it's a pond and it might, with a frog in it, and it might be a little murky. So we'll get this done, and then I will do the grass. I've got the grass colours. And we'll see how quick it goes. This video, because I did the flip through, it is already an hour long. But I don't mind doing longer videos. You all say that you don't mind them, you like it, particularly as we only do a colour with me once a week. Oh, I've gone over the... never mind. The lily pads, that's okay, because they'll be darker anyway. Yeah, you don't mind long videos, but we'll just see how long it is. I went and had a look a minute ago on my editing suite, and it's at an hour, but then we did do the flip through. So if you just guys wanted, you know, I can put that on there. I'll put that, and then people can, I'll put it on the description, and then people can just skip straight to the colouring if they don't want to watch my flip through and my waffle. I mean, to be fair, the flip through was probably longer than any colouring we've done so far, because I like to waffle on. I like you to be able to see the pages. I think it's really important, you know, when you are going to purchase a colouring book, to have the time to look and enjoy pages and see whether you know, would want to colour them. Are you inspired by any of them? And of course RJs have the most beautiful detail in them, and I just don't think I would do it any book flip through justice just by like skimming over it really quickly. It would annoy me. Here we go. So we've got a little bit of pond going on. I will colour over those lily pads because I did the ones down the bottom. Okay, what a difference, what a huge difference filling in that big space makes to the page, doesn't it? Okay, so for the grass at the moment I've got, of course, well, I've got peacock green and I've got Kelly green, and I'm hoping that this will be enough for us to blend it into the alcohol marker. If it's not, then I'm thinking we might come in with a little bit of like jade green. That might help, but we'll see. So let's go in with the peacock green. This should be lovely and dry. And let's bring out the divide in these little hills, these little grassy hills. So we get some shadow or shade going on down here in the dip. Like this, and then we'll come in with the Kelly green. It is Kelly green, isn't it? Yeah. We're going to bring that out. Go over the first colour. And we'll bring that out into that lovely soft green that we've put on there. I do think we're probably going to need the jade just to soften that off as it blends in. Yeah, or maybe pale sage. My favourite colours. Pale sage might be good. We'll try that. Let's just bring this in. Okay, let's try a little bit of pale sage. Is this pale sage? No. Sap green light. Let's go with that. Another beautiful colour. There we go. We'll leave a little bit of that alcohol marker peeping out. Come back in with my, what colour was it? Peacock green. Get that nice bluey green in there. Particularly as it's next to Mr Fogherty, we need different greens. Go. And just to save time, I'll finish blending that off on camera. Let's do under our ladies, our swooning ladies. Okay, so we're putting that peacock green under her. And where RJ's given us the indication of shadow already with the black. Like that. Then in with the Kelly green. And then we'll pull in that sap green light as well into that alcohol marker. And again, I'll finish blending that off smoothly off camera so you don't have to watch for a million years while I do the same thing over and over again. Okay, so we need to do this hill. Come round that tree and we'll maybe do some up here round the manor house or the chateau. Like that, and then in with Kelly green. And a little bit of the sap green. Oh, my hand went funny. Hand spasms of the joy. The joy of getting old and having disabilities on top, eh folks? It's just a wonder. Okay. And then we'll bring up a little bit of dark down the bottom here. Again, where RJ's kindly given us that indication that there's shadow there, which really helps. Fill that in. And I think we'll come up in between our ladies just for a little bit of in here. And I'm going to come lightly round Mr Fogherty too. Like that. And a little bit round our ladies. Just so everything is not the same greens. A little tiny bit in there. Maybe we can have some underneath where those bushes are going to be. And in here around our little border. And then we'll go in with Kelly. What's that green light? And obviously I'm going to come back in, but I just want to show you where I was putting the colours. Like that. So you've got where I'm going to put the darks, so wherever the darks are now, follow it in the order and we'll have the grass complete. So I'll go off and do that and I'll meet you back here in a sec. Okay, grass is done. I'm going to bring you in a little closer so we can do these ladies' faces. Faces? Faces. Faces. So I've got the same colours we had for Mr Fogherty and we're going to stick with that because it works. So I'm going in with the Prussian. And we'll bring out these darker areas that we did before. Okay, in with the lime peel. I'm obviously going to have to be a bit more cautious here because we've got a lot less frog to colour. in with the apple. Do a hand. And then I think we'll call it for today because it's a gloriously sunny day outside. And this is the spring green. I don't want to miss the sunshine. So, if you're all happy and up for it, we'll finish Mr Fogherty next Thursday. I might even be able to squeeze him in before, actually. We'll see how things go. And then back in with the lime peel. And then, of course, okay, we just need to do the little hands. Keep forgetting. They're quite important features, you know. A hand. They're quite handy. So I don't know why I keep forgetting to colour them. Okay, and then we're going to take that artichoke and we're just going to put a little bit of that in. Like that. Do you think this is the lady that he breaks her heart? This one, you know, when we did the flip through. Do you think this is the lady? Looks like it might be. Okay, let's do this one. This very shocked maiden. Same colours, same order. So Prussian green. Lime peel. Apple. And that beautiful spring green. And then artichoke. I did ask RJ when he first brought out no, I think it must have been the second book, if we were going to see tadpoles, that we need, you know, Mr Fogherty becomes a dad. Now that would be good. The pitter-patter of tiny webbed feet. That would be cool. You know, like his little books, like Awake and Asleep. We could have Mr Fogherty becomes a dad, like one of those in that format. Where he's run ragged by tiny tadpoles. Would be funny. Apple, back in with the lime peel. And the spring green. Just in case they weren't green enough, you know. And then the artichoke. Oh, we've left a little eye out, or I have left a little eye out. That's no good. There we go. And then lastly, the artichoke. I save that for last because I just don't want to overdo that brown colour, because I don't want them toned down. I like the brightness, so it was a very happy mistake. Okay, I think our ladies are complete. I'm just going to prat about like normal until I end up crying because I've fluffed it up. You know. Alright, so maybe we could have a look at the water before we go off. And okay, let me get the colours organised and we'll get the water done before we go off, and then part 2 we can definitely get it finished because we've got all the border to do, the little birds. I want to do some cloud, we need to colour the manor house, so there's quite a lot left and I don't want to rush it and spoil it. So I'll be back. Let me put on the bit we've coloured. I'll be back with some watercolours and we'll get the water done and then we'll call that part 1. Alright, see you in a second. Okay, I'm back with the colours I hope will work. So I've got a fair few, but that's okay, it'll be alright. So I've got Blue Violet Lake, Blue Slate, Light Aqua, Pale Sage, Light Green, and Celadon. So what should we go in with? So I'm going to go in with a bit of the Blue Violet Lake first. And I'm just going to pull some colour in really and see how it goes. So I'm going to pull it in, just random strokes of these colours. We'll have some round our fishy. Give him a bit of some shadow going on around him. And particularly around the edges where the water meets the bank. And around here. So I want it to be more, I don't know, sort of the appearance of a murky pond maybe, or quite deep, and it's not just blue is what I'm going for. So at the moment I'm ignoring the little watermarks that RJ has put in, because I'll come back with paint pens at the end and I'll put those in. Just want to get these, can you see everything? Yeah. I just want to get these colours in where I want a bit more dark maybe. Oh, I've got a whole patch there. Was it the jade? Yes, it was. There. So it did dry a nice light colour, this one, which I was relieved and happy about. I think it was human error more than anything else, folks. I think I picked up the wrong colour when I did the sky and then just went into a complete spin of, oh no, I've ruined RJ's brand new book. Okay. I think we'll have a little bit around here of the darker blue. There we go. Okay, right, before I overdo it, let's move on. Let's put in some of the light aqua next. So we start to get that green in there. So I'm just going to pull that through. And I don't think we need to cover up completely the alcohol marker, but it might happen. Again, I'm going to try not to colour over the lily pads, but it would appear that today the lily pads are getting it. Okay, so I'm pulling out where I've put that blue in, trying to make it look like the water's got a bit of movement by just these sort of stripes coming out. Okay. Alright, let's go in now. I want the light green now, much different colour. And we'll just lift this up. Another variant in the colours we've got. Just adds to that variation and interest, doesn't it? Just makes it look a little bit less flat when you can put different colours in. Okay, what else have I got? I don't know that we need too much more. I'm going to do away, oh I don't know, hang on a minute. So we're going to take the blue slate. We're going to put a little bit of that in as well. It's a brighter blue. Still soft, but a little bit of that around Mr Fogherty's hand. Okay, we've got a little tiny bit of jade, which is a greyer, much more muted tone. I don't want a lot of that. I was going to do away with it, but I think it might work to our advantage for shadows and going over that blue violet lake. Like that. Yeah, I think that works to give us some murk and shadow in by the banks around our fishy. Gosh, once the panic had gone off, and I did panic, I've really enjoyed doing this so far. And we haven't finished, we've got a lot. This is the thing with RJ's pages, they are very detailed and they take quite a bit of time. For me anyway. Alright, and then the last colour we've got is Pale Sage, which has got a more yellowy hue to it. And I'm going to use that to pull that into that original alcohol marker colour and blend on this paper. So we've actually done a lot today. We've got a lot covered. And then we cover, when we come in with our paint pens, we can do the little water droplets. And the movement in the water that RJ's given us. I'm just smoothing this out with this pale sage. Fabulous colour. I love pale sage. It's one of the first colours that run out for me. And powder blue. That runs out. And the decos. Use a lot of the decos. And cream. A lot of the colours. Okay, what do you reckon? So it's made our sky look a little bit bluer, hasn't it? And then shall we come back in with a little bit of the Blue Violet Lake again and just give it a little bit more of a blue tinge. There we go. Just a little bit of more of that blue really helps to push through that green as well, so that aqua shows up. Very pretty colours together. I'm going to come back with a little bit of the light aqua as well. Just a little bit, because that kind of takes off the blue and the green takes over. Anyway, there we go. Let me pull us out. There we go. So after a momentous nightmare with my sky, I think I've managed to get away with it. We will put some colour on these clouds and outline them. So next time it's just clothing. There's, you know, there's quite a lot to do, but they're smaller details, so it shouldn't be. I'm just going in with that Caribbean Sea in there. Missed that out. So yeah, I'm going to fill in any of these little gaps with Caribbean Sea. It shouldn't be too bad. Still take a long time, but a little bit of in there, like that. Okay, yeah, so just making sure that, there we go, all our gaps are filled in. There we go. All right. So yeah, so it shouldn't take too long. Probably another hour-long video, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. All right, but thank you so much for joining me. RJ, thank you so much for sending it to me. Your books always give me so much pleasure, and I know they do in the rest of the colouring community too. You're a godsend, you really are. If you haven't seen, RJ has his own colouring channel and he colours his books, and he's fabulous. He there's lots of videos on there where he's talking to you, and he's just such a lovely person. Go over and check him out. Tell him I sent you, because I'd love to see him he deserves so many more subscribers than he's got right now. So anyway, so we'll be back and we'll finish this Thursday, if not sooner. And I'll be back on Monday with Mini Monday, and we'll get some different pencils out, I promise. All right, so until we meet again, whenever that may be, take really good care of yourselves, enjoy colouring, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.